Hello everybody, my name is Will from You Know Nothing and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for clicking on this one. Today we're going to be going through the preview trailer for episode 6 of Game of Thrones season 7, breaking the trailer down and also going through some of the predictions that I think are going to happen in this epic episode. However, as I go to record this, the episode's been leaked, which is just great. But I'm not going to watch that, we're just going to go off based off the trailer and what I think is going to happen, and hopefully we'll be right when I watch it, when it actually airs on Sunday. But I reckon Game of Thrones were just getting harassed by hackers saying like, give us £1 million or we will leak the episode. So they decided to leak the episode themselves first. Saves them £1 million, possibly. But anyway, enjoy the trailer and then I'll be back with you in about 30 seconds.
Death is the enemy. The first enemy and the last. The enemy always wins. And we still need to fight him.
You're scared, aren't you? What are you scared of?
So this episode is called Death is the Enemy, and it's supposed to be 71 minutes long, which is insane. I think it's the longest Game of Thrones episode that we've had so far, which is amazing. And then the next episode, the finale, episode 7, is supposed to be over 80 minutes long, so I am hyped as hell for these last 2 episodes. So Death is the Enemy. Obviously, this episode, the main part of this episode anyway, at least, is going to be a huge fight between Jon Snow's Suicide Squad and the White Walkers, which is going to be insane. But does it also hint at a death that one or several of the squad that go out north of the wall are going to die in this episode? I'd say it's highly likely, seeing as the danger of the mission that they're going on, that not all of them are going to survive, but I'll talk a little bit about that later on in this video. So I've done a little bit of digging on Wikipedia, and the director of this episode is a guy called Alan Taylor, who's not actually directed an episode for a few seasons now, but one of the main ones that he did direct was season 1 episode 9 where Ned Stark got his head chopped off. The huge twist. So is there going to be another huge twist in this one just based on the director being the same? Maybe he's a master of twists or big characters dying in an epic way. So another big death could be coming. So in the trailer we see the Hound staring up at the mountain, which possibly could be the one that he saw in the flames, which means that he's already better at looking through the flames than Melisandre, who's been doing it for like 200 years or something, and she keeps getting prophecies wrong, which prophecies are quite hard, and seeing things in the flames, she keeps getting them wrong, whereas the Hound, first time off, absolutely nails it. And I also think it's quite ironic that the Hound sees a mountain in the flames. So I thought that was a little bit of an Easter egg, I don't know. We also see a shot of Dany who looks like she's contemplating something big. She looks like she's worried and scared about something, and I think it could be to do with the squad going north of the wall. She could be contemplating abandoning the wall with Cersei for now and taking her forces or dragons north of the wall to help them out, which I expect Tyrion would probably advise against, as he knows how evil and devastating Cersei can be. But perhaps Jon Snow's kind of made Daenerys realise the magnitude of the threat coming from the north, or perhaps she's just developed feelings for him or doesn't want him to die, thinks he's on some kind of suicide mission, which she is. But I think possibly she could be contemplating going north of the wall to help them out with a dragon or 2 or 3. Now we know that the Army of the Dead have giants that have been turned into wights. What is stopping them from getting a dragon? So if Daenerys does take her dragons up north, I have a feeling that one of them will die, and it'll probably be Viserion, the one that's named after Daenerys' brother, because I feel it won't be Drogon, and I don't think it will be Rhaegal, because as we know with Jon Snow's parentage, his dad is Rhaegar. I have a feeling that Jon will have something to do with Rhaegal the dragon, so I think it's going to be the 3rd dragon, Viserion, who is going to die. So what is stopping them from turning the dragon into a kind of white dragon and the Night's King riding on the dragon? That would be absolutely insane, but I don't expect to see that until season 8, I don't think. Unless that's like the last shot of season 7, which would be amazing. So another point in the trailer that a lot of people have seemed to be pointing out, that I've seen on Twitter and on YouTube, etc., is a shot that the Hound is fighting a Wight, and he has a warhammer, and it looks pretty similar to Gendry's warhammer. Now, we don't know if the Hound has a warhammer as well, but I don't think so, because the Hound usually uses a sword. So does this mean that Gendry dies and then the Hound picks up his warhammer? I hope not, seeing as he's just come back from rowing for like 5 seasons. But I have a feeling it's just something like Gendry dropped it or threw it to him because he was in trouble, and I'm excited to see the Hound take on like 7 dead at the same time, just swinging a warhammer. It'll be insane. We also have Beric Dondarrion with his flaming sword, which was in the trailer at the beginning of season 7, which looks so cool. I can't wait to see that in action. But previously he used this in the show, and he actually needed to use blood so it could turn into flames. But in the books, he uses wildfire to turn it into flames. But I guess because in the show before he used blood, they might have to use blood again before it turns into flames. But it looks like it just turns into flames in this one, so I guess we'll have to find out with that. So going back to Winterfell a little bit, the main aim of this episode is going to be north of the wall. But we've got to go back to Winterfell to see what's happening with Arya and Sansa. So in the last episode, Littlefinger, or Little Cav, as I like to call him, planted a letter for Arya to find to try and separate Arya and Sansa. So in the trailer, Arya says, "You're scared, aren't you?" And then, like always, it cuts to another character that you assume they're speaking to, and it cuts to Sansa. So they could be talking to each other and kind of creating conflict between each other. But Arya could, at the same time, be speaking to Littlefinger or about Littlefinger. So they kind of realise what he's doing, the plays that he's making, trying to split them up. And she realises he's scared. So he's trying to break them up with some of his evil little plays that he's doing. And I hope Arya is the one to end Littlefinger. I hope, but I don't think it'll happen in this episode. So we go back up north with Jon Snow sword fighting a White Walker. Of course it has to land to him. And this reminds me of the scene in Hardhome, which is one of my favourite episodes, the one in season 5, where they have a huge fight with the White Walkers, which in Hardhome they didn't actually know about Valyrian steel or anything at the time. I remember when Jon Snow had Longclaw, and he hit the sword against the White sword, and it didn't shatter. And they both looked confused. But now this time, they probably both know that Valyrian steel, so the White Walkers might be a little bit more cautious, not as confident, but the battle's going to be insane, and I'm pretty sure Jon Snow will survive it. So there's also a scene where they're all running. It looks like they're running to this huge rock where they're going to go and try and get to safety for a big standoff. And we get the Night's King walking towards them. It looks like he's looking up slightly as well. I might be looking a little bit too much into this, but if he's looking up, he could be looking up at them on the rock. And if they're on the rock with the Wights surrounding them, it doesn't look like there'll be anywhere for them to go. So I think the only way I can see them getting out is by Daenerys coming and taking them away on a dragon. I don't know how insane that sounds to some of you, but that's the only way I can see them getting out, unless something insane happens to do with like the flaming sword that just kills them all. But there we go, everybody. However extravagant you think my predictions are for episode 6, let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully we'll find out what happens soon enough. I'm not going to watch a leaked episode, so if you're going to leave any leaked spoilers in the comments down below, please don't. If people want to watch it, I'm sure they'll go and find out for themselves. But my name is Will. Thank you so much for watching this. Subscribe to the channel for more stuff, and I'll see you all in my next video. Cheers, dudes.